There's a new film out called The War Within. Not many moviegoers have seen it yet, but already it has a good number of people angry.
The War Within tells the story of one young man's transformation from engineering student to terrorist. And it is, as you would imagine, controversial.
Bienvenue à Karachi, frère. Je dois pas être là. J'ai rien fait.
Hassan, the main character, is a student in Paris when he's picked up by Western intelligence agents suspected of terrorist activities.
I had trouble getting into the country.
Did you make it through unnoticed?
Yes.
Have you had a chance to explore Grand Central?
Not yet.
Brothers, this is Abdul.
He's imprisoned, tortured, then released. And that's when he decides to become the terrorist his accusers believe him to be, entering the U.S. undercover, a man with newfound religious fervor on a deadly mission.
Some small adjustments.
If you're wondering why a filmmaker would choose a topic like this, one that strikes fear in so many hearts, director Joe Castelo says simply this: in this time when terror attacks are on our minds, we need to, if not sympathize, then just understand what goes on in the minds of the men and the women willing to sacrifice their lives for a cause.
I think that one of the things that the film deals with is the issue of radicalization and how, in some ways, our reaction and our legitimate reaction to what has happened may be exacerbating the problem.
The wannabe bomber in this film becomes not so much a man possessed as a man torn between his now deeply held religious beliefs and his growing affection for the family providing him refuge in a country he seems so eager to destroy. In the end, you can't help but feel something for this fictional terrorist trainee, and Castelo says that's part of the point.
You heard from him earlier. Earlier we spoke tonight with the director of The War Within, Joseph Castelo. Why did you make this film? Why did you want to make this film?
I just feel like, you know, there's, as a New Yorker, having lived through 9/11, that there's no other subject matter that filmmakers should be examining right now, at least New York filmmakers. It's something we really should point our attention towards. I don't ever want to see it happen again, and I think that the appropriate place to examine these issues is they're in a movie theater.
We've been, in many ways, almost literally from September 12th, 2001 to today, we have at some level been asking the question, why did they do this? Why do they hate us? And yet if anyone tries to broach an answer, tries to broach understanding, there is this sort of smack that goes on. Why do you think that is?
I think because September 11th was such a horrible event in American history. I think that there's so much emotion around the issue that it's difficult for people to even have a discussion around what essentially, I mean, I think are some of the reasons behind what had happened.
Do you think you've painted a character who is sympathetic at some level? When we want a character who is simply, we societally want a character who is simply evil?
I think that we've created a character that we can empathize with, not sympathize with, and there's a difference. He does have a human face, but certainly the choices that he makes, you know, he clearly manipulates this family, and there's a certain kind of narcissistic bent in the way he goes forward with his mission. But I certainly think that seeing him as a human being confounds an audience, an American audience. They're not used to that journey.
So there is, I mean, you want people to see in him, I'm not sure if ambivalence is the word you would use, but something other than 100%, I know this is the right thing. Oh, a struggle.
Absolutely. I mean, that's at the heart of the film, and that's at the heart of the sermon within the film, in the mosque. You know, the imam in the mosque is talking about the meaning of jihad and what that truly means, and talking about what it means as a struggle for everyday life. And that's what, you know, and that this character is making a truly self-interpretive choice, as opposed to the other Muslims that are sitting in the mosque. And the other character in the film who turns out to be a hero, Saeed, the doctor who lives, you know, in suburban America and who's living the American dream. he makes a different choice at the end of the film. So it's that juxtaposition that I think, hopefully, demonstrates the struggle that these characters are going through.
War Within. Coming up, we'll look at tomorrow morning's papers.